What's up? Liz Wilcox here. You are listening to the Email Sound Booth podcast. This is episode 38, The Power of the PS. Yes, using the PS, postscript as it's formally known, in your emails is a great marketing tactic. I want to share with you a few ways to use it and why it's so freaking powerful. But first, I want you to know there's no right way to do the PS. It's just this final way to get a reader to emphasize, or I'm sorry, a reader to engage and for you to emphasize a point. I mean, who doesn't read a PS, right? Even if, and especially when people just scroll to the bottom of the email. Like they're not really reading, right? Especially if you've got a longer email. PSs are great to use in sales emails. People are just skimming, right? They're not really reading every word. They get to the bottom, they see your signature, they see a PS. They likely are going to read every single one of those words, right? Unlike the bulk of the email. But of course, just keep in mind that there is such thing as too long of a PS. Just make sure you give like just enough info that they know what you're talking about, without so much info that it feels like the bulk of the email and they just scroll back up or delete your email, right? So for example, if your PS is don't miss out, that's too little, right? If I didn't read the top of the email, I might not know what you're talking about and it's not relevant or enticing to me. Don't miss out on this Black Friday deal. Sale ends November 29th. That's better. And then what would be maybe even slightly better than that and a little bit longer, but not too long, is remember the Black Friday deal ends November 29th at midnight Pacific. It won't be back till March. So if you're ready to have everything you need for email marketing and not have to spend another dime for a whole year, join today. Okay. That one, we might even be able to get it a little shorter, but it gives you all the info that they likely put up at the top, but it condenses it. Okay. Excuse me. So in the PS, here are some ways you can use it. Number one is prioritize what you're trying to say. Just like that example I gave you, what I'm trying to say when I'm selling my annual pass, for example, is, you have everything you need for email marketing for a whole year. You don't have to spend another dime. Sale ends November 29th. That's really me summing it up. And so, if I want to prioritize that, that's what I really want people to know. That's what I'm going to put in the PS. That's another way of saying, you're kind of mopping up, you're putting any loose ends, anything that wasn't like you tried to make it as clear as possible. But if somebody's skimming, it might not be. That's what you put in the PS. Also, you can use a PS to create urgency. I kind of did that with that example, right? Remember, the Black Friday deal ends November 29th at midnight Pacific. It won't be around again until March. That creates urgency, right? I want to give you another example. Hang on, you're going to hear clicking because I'm clicking around. So somebody I used to, it was a podcast broker. I used to use her services when I was first starting out. Christina Lankowski, she's awesome. But she wrote an email. She's sharing her offer about, booking her podcast broker services. And she writes, P.S. early birds get an extra guaranteed booking. That's 9 total shows. Don't miss out. Okay, so that's creating some urgency there. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I am so nasally today. So anyway, that's creating that urgency right there. It's also, emphasizing the point of the email. Like, hey, you're going to get all these bookings, but early birds get even one more. Book now, right? Also, the PS when you're in sales, it's great for introducing a bonus, right? So if, let's say, for example, Christina was, actually that extra booking is a bonus, right? So she's already done that really super well. It's also great for a testimonial. This is where I like to use them in sales emails. I often have so much to say about my offers that I forget to write testimonial emails. So I tend to just put them in the PSs. PS, don't believe me. Here's what Christina has to say. Here's what Shahara has to say. Here's what LeBron has to say, right? And so I use those in the testimonials. But I wanted to I've given you a lot of examples for sales, but you can use this. This is still very powerful in regular newsletters. So the most recent newsletter I've sent out was an email called Don't Forget. And I'm talking about, you got to list build. Don't forget to list build. And then in the PS, I say, are you growing your email list with lead magnets? Here's a 12-minute episode on how to know if yours sucks or what, right? So instead of writing an entire email around, hey, I just made this podcast episode, it is episode 35. You're going to want to listen to, because I talk about XYZ, I sort of flip the script, right? This is a great way to get your click rate up. So instead of doing all that and highlighting the podcast episode, because at the end of the day, unless you're already listening to the podcast, you might not be sold on it. So I emphasize why I would write an episode about lead magnets anyway, right? It's because you need to grow your email list. So I'm pulling that out. I'm writing that email like this, this is why you need to grow your email list. And then I'm saying, hey, do you grow with lead magnets? Here's an episode on that, right? So it's their next logical step because I've kind of stirred in them like, yes, I need to grow my email list. Again, that PS, how do we mop all this up? How do we prioritize what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say get going, and you can get going with my 12-minute podcast. And if you haven't listened to that one, that is, what episode did I say that was? Hang on. Episode 35. I'm going to link that in the show notes for you. But you see how it doesn't have to be a sales email. And I can actually give you another example of that if you will indulge me. Let me find one for you because I think it's really important to know, hey, it doesn't have to be for sales. So here's another one that I sent out. It was called Big Scary Goal. And I'm talking about mapping out everything for my annual pass holders. I share a goal, I want 1,000 new annual pass holders. That's a ridiculously ambitious goal. And then I ask people, what's a goal that feels impossible to you? And then very cutesy, very demure, in the PS, I say, hey, want to know more about my annual pass? I recorded a podcast episode, right? Episode something or other. I can't even remember the episode title or number. Anyway, again, I'm sharing this big goal about my annual pass. And then in the PS, want to know about the annual pass? Here's a podcast episode. And then I do a PPS, ready to just join the wait list for the annual pass. Click here. And let's look at those analytics. So it looks like 145 people clicked over to listen to the podcast episode, and then 116 people joined the wait list. Now, see again how I flipped the script with the PS. I didn't write an email about, oh my gosh, my wait list, it's finally open. Here's the reason why you want to get on the wait list. I wrote about, something that would intrigue them. Wow, she's 1,000 new annual pass holders. Who does she think she is? How is she going to make 1,000 sales? That's incredibly wild, And then, oh my gosh, she's asking me what feels impossible to me, so she's eliciting replies, right? I'm giving encouragement as well. I hope you go for it, first name. I really do. This is meant to stir something in them. Again, it's meant to say hey, go for your big scary goal. P.S. You don't know what the annual pass is? Check it out here. Get on the wait list here. See how I'm flipping the script? Again, I really want to emphasize here the email isn't about the annual pass. It's about my goal, but it creates that intrigue so that when I get to the PS, they're going to click because they're excited. And that's true. The click rate was over 2% for this one. And then again, remember with the list building one, my main goal was to get people over to listen to the podcast. But I know, like, hey, here's my new podcast episode. Like, who cares, right? You have to make them care so the email is, stirring something in them so they care, so they want to make the next step. The next step, of course, is listening to the podcast episode. All right, the last thing I want to say about PSs is the word I'm looking for. The last thing I want to say about PSs is you can also create a super signature. I'm sure you've heard me talking about this. It's basically the footer of your email. PS, when you're ready, here are some ways we can work together. And then you list out, if it was me, I would say, my $9 membership, get on the wait list for my annual pass, listen to my podcast here. Right. And that would go in just about every single email. But I want to say that I used to do this in my travel blog, and I wanted to give you a couple examples. And it was, instead of the same thing over and over, I was a blogger, right? So I wanted people to go to my blog. That's how I made money. I had money with advertising. I had affiliate links over at the blog, etc. And so every PS would be, PS, here are your RV resources for the week. And then it would be different every single week. And I'm looking at one that says, RVing in the cold this year. Here's my ultimate guide for not freezing your buns off. Have you ever heard of my story about our first travel day? Click here to shake your head furiously and laugh at my expense. And then the third one is a sales link. Did you know I have an RV maintenance course? It will help you do about 80% of repairs and preventative maintenance on your rig, saving you lots of money. Click here to check it out and use code Friday for $50 off. So again, this is something, think about your objectives. Do you want people to get on your wait list? Do you want people to listen to your podcast? Do you want people to join your course? Do you want people to look at your blog? Every single week, you could have resources of the week, or you could do the typical super signature where it's just about the same links over and over again. All right, those are my examples. That's the power of the PS. Remember, too long, there is such thing as too long, especially when it comes to sales emails. But again, there's no right way to do it. Hopefully you can take from these examples and, start using that PS, because it's an excellent, excellent, excellent marketing tactic, especially when it comes to email. All right, that was episode 38, The Power of the PS. As always, I'd love for you to come to the reviews of this podcast and tell me how this episode helped you today. In the meantime, the annual pass waitlist is open. You can go to lizwilcox.com/waitlist. That is going to get you on the waitlist for the annual pass, which is join my membership for a year, $108. Get all my other products for free. I'm so excited. It opens November 25th to the 29th. All right, that's going to be linked in the show notes as well. Okie doke. I am Liz Wilcox. You are awesome, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Email Sound Booth Podcast.